Well, good day. We're here with Rickey Medlocke from Leonard Skinnerd and Blackfoot. Hey, Rickey, how you doing? Thanks for spending some time with us
Oh,
here in Tucson.
you bet, man. You bet, man. I'm glad to be here. Love Tucson.
So you have a new song out, Never Run Out of
Yeah,
Road. We played it a few times on the station already, and it's a solo song.
yeah.
And what inspired you to write the song?
Well, here's the funny part. So about I don't know 7 or 8 years ago, I was in my. I used to have. We now dissolved one of them, but I used to have two studios in Fort Myers, Florida, and I've got a mix room slash studio in my home. We down at our home down in Fort Myers. We have a mother-in-law suite that we converted over, to my mix room studio, whatever. And so I was in there and I had the song. And so a friend of mine from Blackberry Smoke, Charlie Starr,
Hmm.
um, I called him and I said, I've got this tune. You want to collaborate on it? Because it sounded like something he and I, would join in together and, play together. He said, yeah, I'd love to. So we passed the song back and forth, came up with Never Run Out of Road because I told him, I said, it seemed like, being on the road as far as rock musicians go, you're on the road, you never run out of road. They're always there,
Hmm.
no matter where you are. He said, that sounds like a good one, Ricky. So we went about, sketching out the lyrics and stuff like that, but thought it was finished. But later on, I tried to do a TV show about missing and murdered Indigenous women.
Okay.
And so what happened was the production kind of fell apart and, it all just kind of tumbled downhill and nothing ever got settled. Nothing ever got made. And it was really disappointing because this is an epidemic of great proportion.
Hmm.
It's been going on probably 100 years or better. You know what I mean? Uh, if you can kind of wrap your head around Native Americans kind of make up about 10% of the United States.
Hmm.
And out of that 10%, statistics will show you that about 40% of those are missing women, children, young women, middle aged women, older women. So if you think about it in those terms, 40% out of 10%, that's a lot of women, you
Yes, it
know?
is.
And so it really strikes a nerve, of course, with every native. And really struck one with me because I was like, wow, I can't believe this is going on and nothing is being done about it. It's like a forgotten society has been pushed aside and there's never any attention to it. You never hear it on the news. You never see anything about it in the paper, the magazines, whatever. So, when this whole thing came about of having a side band, and the reason why I wanted a side band is that when Skinner comes off the road, normally we go on hiatus for, month after month after month. And I'm not one for having month after month after month off. I got too much energy and I tend to be a real pain in the butt after a while. So I decided I was sitting around thinking one day, a guitar player friend of mine who had a band together and used to play in the latter versions of Blackfoot. He is in Wisconsin near Minneapolis and not too far from Minneapolis. And he has a band up there and they were doing, weekends and stuff like that around the Wisconsin, Minnesota, South Dakota, Iowa, Chicago area, whatever. And I called him one day and I said, hey, Mark, I've got this idea. What if I take and put myself in your band, and we work up a set of classic tunes from Blackfoot, maybe a few songs from Skinner, maybe songs of artists that I have really admired and really had a lot of respect for that influenced me in my life. And I interject myself in the band. We work up a great set and see about playing some shows every once in a while. And he said, well, that sounds like a good idea. Let me talk to the band. So he went back to talk to the band. They said, we're really into it. So then we started thinking about, well, if we're going to go out and play, really, what are we going to do are we going to promote something to have out, in the marketplace to make people come to see the band more? What are we going to do here, And so we got to talking about, he and I had written the songs together before that came out on 2 independent records that I had done, Medicine Man and After the Rain, which never did anything. Hardly anybody knew about them. But so Mark said, let's do this together, So he came down to Florida. We got through all this material that I was sitting on, and we came across this song, Never Run Out of Road. And it really struck with us. So, they call the whole thing with missing and murdered Indigenous women the Red Road. And that's one of the kind of names for it. Also Red Feather,
Mm-hmm.
Well, we looked at each other and said, this is the song. So we kind of reworked it lyric wise. And I already had it kind of recorded already. Had done it at my home studio. And we did some touch-up work on it, added some instrumentation, did the final vocals, background vocals, different things to it, put a mix on it. And along comes this guy, Scott Harold, who was running Rock the Calls Records, being, distributed by Sony. And so Scott comes in on the deal, loves the song, and said, okay, I'll put it out. And he had all the ins and outs of promotion and, the whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what happened from that point, he says, when I do a song with artists, because the label is called Rock the Cause, he said, when I do a song, I like for the artist to choose a charitable source of their interest. And I like to donate proceeds from the, the selling of the record or album or whatever. And I like to donate to their own personal charity. And it hit me. I said, wow, this is a great way to bring about attention in even some small way, hopefully a major way, but some small way, of the missing and murdered Indigenous women movement. So from that point, I didn't really know which one was the best one. And I called he's like a brother to me. I called a real friend of mine, native guy. You'd recognize him from Yellowstone. He plays the tribal chairman in Yellowstone from the Cheyenne Indians.
He's the
Gil
president.
Birmingham.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So I called up Gil Birmingham and I said, Gil, this is what I'm trying to do. He said, because I knew they had done a segment on Yellowstone in the 3rd season where Dutton's youngest son that works on, that worked at the ranch and so forth, that's married to the native girl.
Mm-hmm.
They had done a segment where she gets abducted.
Yep.
By a guy, takes her out on the reservation, is going to have his way with her, then probably kill her.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a big setup by Gil Birmingham, the character he plays with Mo, his sidekick at the reservation. It was a setup and they killed the guy.
Yep, I remember that episode well.
So then if you remember, Mo goes to walking around the grounds and finds multiple mounds.
Yep.
And they go to looking into it. It's other missing and murdered indigenous women out there. So Gil said, let me get a hold of Taylor Sheridan because I know that he donates to a certain charitable organization. And I said, great. He came back to me a few days later. He said, Rickey, it's the National Indigenous Women's Resource Center. There you go. I said, there's the one, first one. So we did that one. Another company that I'm in with, another charitable company that I'm in with called the Dream Catchers Charitable Fund up in Canada, who celebrates greatness out of natives, whether it be in medicine, education, professionalism, arts, music, whatever. And so we donate to that and Save the Wolves, the National Wolves Association of North America. So if anybody's interested, you can go to RickeyMedlocke.com and there's 3 links. You can click on the links. You can find out the information there. You can donate through there. Plus there's merchandise that when you buy goes to the charitable organizations. And I'm just really, really proud and happy to be a part of it,
And how's it been going so far? What's the reaction been? Have you had a good response?
Yes, we have. Absolutely. And in fact, I just got a report today of monies that was sent to the charities. It looked great. And I'm really happy about it, man. And we're planning on a new song already.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. We're going to do another song, and that song, we'll do the same thing,
Are you going to be putting out an entire album, or is this song by song?
It'll be song by song, and then at a certain point, maybe it will warrant doing a collection of all of them and then putting out the collection,
Are you touring on this right now?
Well, here's what I'm doing. First of all, I'm really heavily involved, as you well know, with Leonard Skinner.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't leave me much time to all of a sudden do Skinner, then book dates to go out to do what I do. But coming up in the fall, Skinner ends their thing at the very end of September. We end our dates with us and ZZ Top, and or the 1st of October, something like that. And then we're looking into doing shows in October, November, December.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, man. Yeah.
So I take it on your time off a little bit, you're working on some new music with your solo project with the guys in the band, and then you'll have some even more, I would presume, new music along with the songs that you told me about, the classics that you're going to be covering.
Yeah, that's correct. That is correct. Yep. And you know what, man? I don't like stopping. I never stop. I just keep moving forward. That's it.
Well, talking to you, I could tell you got a lot of energy.
Yeah, I've never been accused of being a down person. That's for sure.
So hopefully, when you come on out, I've obviously seen you with Skinner a bunch of times and all that. Hopefully, maybe a Southwest tour, make that part of your tour to come out here to Arizona.
Yeah, man.
Obviously, we have a lot of communities surrounding Tucson and Phoenix.
Big time. It's kind of interesting. I've been in touch with the Secretary of Interior, Deb Haaland, who is full Native. And at some point, I'm supposed to get involved with 1 or 2 different, I would say, gatherings of Natives to speak on the subject, even maybe go to Washington and testify and talk in front of Congress. So we'll see,
Well, hopefully it'll get more attention to it because, obviously, I think most people probably their attention to it has been brought to them by a show like Yellowstone or some of the other movies that have come out in the past, but they're few and far between. And you're right, you don't see a lot of attention to this in the media.
Well, if you go back several years ago, Gil was with Jeremy Renner in a movie called Wind River.
I do remember that.
Um, that movie, that was the subject of that movie because Gil played the father of a victim. His daughter was kidnapped and they found her deceased. And boy, he did such an incredible job on that movie, Gil did. And he's a great actor. He's really just a gifted guy, you know. And so I stay in touch with him. And, you know, we love talking. You know what I mean? We love to talk about, you know, he plays bass. He's a bass guitar player.
Oh, I did not know that.
And oh yeah, and one time there was a gathering of the Dreamcatchers charitable fund in Las Vegas. It was their gala event, and so along with himself and me and my better half, Stacy, who is an incredible singer. She's one of the honkettes now in Leonard Skinner, and she was with Kid Rock for 16 years,
Oh,
and
wow.
Joe Walsh for like 4 tours. Her list is really long. But Gil and myself and her, Stevie Salas,
Oh,
oh my God, and a drummer. There was a drummer with us and stuff. We did a jam session along with Billy Gibbons.
oh, wow.
And so Gil was our bass player. And I really had no idea that he had played bass. And even the drummer was Matt Sorum. And we all got up and started playing together, and I couldn't believe Gil. I mean, he held the bottom down great.
He
I
kept
was
up.
like, yeah, I was like, at the end of it, I said, I didn't know you played bass. Well, I just kind of, you know, he kind
Well,
of brushed it off.
what's funny is, obviously all the names you mentioned, I know those names, but I haven't heard Stevie Salas's name in a long, long time. He is an amazing musician.
Oh, he's a really good friend of mine. In fact, he is the big part that heads up the Dreamcatchers charitable event. And in fact, she and I are going up to Canada in the late part of October. They do a gathering up there every year, the gala event. And I think Stacy and I are going to go up there this year and by ourselves play 4 or 5 acoustic tunes for everybody.
Oh, that's
So,
fantastic.
yeah, it's going to be great. Yep.
Well, Ricky, you sound like you have so much energy, and in fact, I know that Skinner they're road warriors themselves. You know,
Oh, yeah.
it's you guys have been doing it for, decades. And then of course you got your solo stuff. Anything on the Blackfoot front? Is anything there?
Well, you know, I was asked, here recently, was I ever going to do, a Blackfoot reunion or whatever, think about getting a Blackfoot thing going or whatever. And, here's the problem sometimes. I know that once you're young and you're going out here and you're trying to make it, you're trying to achieve something at a young age and you're in a band and you got this spirit about yourself
Hmm.
and you got this hunger about yourself. And then all of a sudden you turn that into, an incredible record sales and touring and, the whole bit, right? Then the next thing you know, it all comes tumbling down and you go, okay, well, what's next? Then it goes along for years and it's kind of like, okay, I'm on to something else, Well, I got into Skinner back in 96. Again, this is my second go round with them
Hmm.
because I'd been a part of them 71 to almost 73. So I get back in Skinner, then I get started getting hammered with, well, don't you think it's about time for a Blackfoot reunion? And I went, how can I? It's like, and then my real thing to it all is, look, Jackson, the drummer, passed away, back around 2007. And the only way I would have done it if he was still alive,
Yeah.
because he and I wrote the songs. I always considered Jack and I the heartbeat of the band. And that was the only way I would even considered going out, and doing anything like that. So
Well,
now that he's not here, I've got Blackfoot, the name. I own the name, and it's tucked away in a vault. And there you go.
well, it sounds like too when you do your solo tour with this side project you're doing outside of Skinner, that you'll be playing some Blackfoot, playing some Skinner, playing some songs that, as you
Yeah.
said, you inspired you. That people will still be able to hear you with the songs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, we picked. We did 2 shows already. This past March 1st and 2nd in Medina, Minnesota, and St. Charles, Illinois. And man, we had so much fun. And I pulled songs out of, oh my God, my past from years ago. And you know what? It'd been a long time since I'd been a lead singer standing in front of a microphone for an hour and a half. That was different. But you know what? I had so much fun doing it. And the big thing was, we made the announcement about, the project that we're involved in and
Mhm.
the charitable thing to the audience. And you know what? That made it really, really all well worth it.
Well, we're talking with Rickey Medlocke from Leonard Skinner, and of course his solo project. The song is called "Never Run Out of Road." If somebody wants to hear it, besides on the radio, where can they find out more about it, and where can they hear it? Can they hear it on streaming services, or can they buy it?
It's on all the streaming platforms.
All right.
Every one of them. You go to your favorite one and you can type it in. It'll be right there for you. If you want to donate, you go to my website or even on iTunes. When you buy it on iTunes, part of that goes to the charitable. Anything that comes into us goes to the charities.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, Rickey,
Yeah,
what
man.
is the website again?
It's Rickey Medlocke, RickeyMedlocke, RickeyMedlocke.com.
And are you on social media at all?
There's a Facebook page. There's an Instagram on me. That's become a big thing. Johnny Van Zandt and I recently, we got, all of a sudden we got hit like a lot of other celebrities are being hit and personalities are being hit with this whole AI thing. That
Oh,
somebody had copied our voice. And there was all these women that thought that we were talking to them
oh boy.
and duping them into them sending us money. I
Oh,
mean, it's a total scam. And so recently, he and I made a video and posted it all over our social media and stuff. Hey, be careful with that because we don't do that. We would never ask people for money or anything. And your listeners right now, if you've been a victim of it, stop it. Don't go any further. Report it, because it's real heavy duty right now. It really
yeah.
is.
We actually had it happen to a coworker at another station. Uh, Page got what do you call it? I guess copied
Oh
and
yeah.
ran a fake contest. We had people showing up, and we're like, we didn't do this. This has nothing to do with us. So
Yeah.
it's.
Yeah, I know.
I
I
was
know.
talking with Orianthe, the guitar player,
Yes.
and she goes, "Yeah, make sure you look for that blue check mark. Make sure you know that it's the official page."
Absolutely. Always look for that blue check mark. Yep.
Well, Rickey, it's been a pleasure talking to you, man. I've been a fan for years and years and years, and to actually have a
Well,
one-on-one conversation with you is an absolute pleasure.
well, thank you for having me. It's a real honor to be here. Thank you.
Well, hopefully we'll see you in Tucson, Southern Arizona, sometime soon with your solo project. Or maybe they'll announce a Leonard Skinner date here somewhere. But
It very well could be. Yep.
because I've seen you guys quite a few times with Leonard, but I've never seen you solo. And from what it sounds like, it sounds like your solo show would be a blast to watch.
Oh, it's a load of fun, man. Come on out.
All right. Well, Rickey, I'll be following you on Facebook, the blue check mark, and I'll also be following you on your website as well.
You bet, buddy. Take good care of yourself.
All right. Thank you so much, Rickey. Appreciate you spending time with us. Good luck. And hopefully we'll see you in Tucson, Arizona sometime soon.
You bet.